2, 1.
Hey everybody, it's Miss Bowen. Thank you for coming to our art club. We're going to work on clay today. You should have your package out of your BAVEL bag. I sent it to you. It looks like this. We're going to talk about what's inside of it. You also should have purchased yourself some Play-Doh. Does not matter what size or what color of Play-Doh, but I need you to buy your own Play-Doh and have that with you. Now, don't panic. If you haven't been able to get out and get your Play-Doh yet, you will see that inside your packet, I did send you one package of Magic Model Clay. This is a little different from the Play-Doh. You can use this today, but know that once you use it, it's one and done. You can't put it back in a container. You can't even put it back in a Ziploc bag and it stays soft. Once it comes out of this cellophane, you'll never be able to reuse it. That's why I want you to have Play-Doh for all of our lessons, because it's less expensive and we can use it over and over again. But if for some reason you don't have your Play-Doh yet, you can use this one that I sent you today, okay? So that's our little backup. You're also gonna see inside there that I have sent you what's called a flexible cutting mat. You're like, Miss Bowen, this is not cooking class. I know. This is to keep your parents from getting mad at me because I don't want you to make a mess with clay and it damage any furniture or any surfaces there in your house. So open this up. This is my granddaughter Blakely. She's going to help me out today. She is a second grader, and so it just kind of helps me. She's kind of my guinea pig, you know what that means. She helps me anytime I'm doing any kind of art, and that lets her, let me see it from a kid's perspective, and I see maybe where they have trouble or how I need to change how I'm teaching things. So she's a big help to me. I love having her around. Thanks for being here today. So you're gonna have your cutting mat. We're gonna call it a clay mat from now on. It's flexible, but I want you to leave it flat and always put your clay on top of that to protect the furniture at the house, okay? You're also gonna see that I gave you some plastic knives. There should be at least one in each package. Like, I'm gonna give you one of those. We'll use these for details and for cutting things. I also gave you a little wooden rolling pin that we're gonna use with our clay. We may not use that for anything today, but that will be for in the future. And you're gonna need just a regular standard pencil. I know that sounds weird, but we will use our pencil for quite a bit of detail today on what we're doing. So let's go ahead and get started. Whether you're using your Model Magic or whether you're using Play-Doh, doesn't matter. Let's open them up, Blakely.
Okay.
So you're gonna get these out. Some people mix their Play-Doh colors. I'm not a big fan of that. That's just my personality type. If I use a different color, it's to do details on whatever I'm making. But you know, this is your art, so you get to do it any way you want. And there's just something fun about the way Play-Doh feels, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's therapeutic. Everybody loves it. All right, so depending on how big a piece you have and how big your hands are, you may need a whole lot or you may need just a little. I want you to try to get used to using it in your hands instead of using it on the mat. Now, if you're one of my kindergarten or first graders, you may have to use the mat to do all these techniques, and that's okay. But for you olders, I want you to try to use it in your hand. And what I always try to do is divide my clay in half so that I can handle it easier. So Miss Ryan would be happy with us that we're showing what a half is. We're breaking this in half, okay? So we're gonna do a technique. We're gonna learn our first clay technique, and that's just simply rolling. You're gonna put it in the palm of your hand. You're gonna put your other hand on top of it, apply a little pressure, and roll it around. When Blakely was little and she and I would play with Play-Doh, we would sing a little rolly, rolly, rolly song so she would realize that she needed to roll it. You're applying pressure too, which means you're pushing a little harder against your hands. And what that does, as you will see, is it makes it really, really smooth and really, really pretty ball. Okay, good job, Blakely. All right, so that's rolling. Now we're gonna work on coiling. So for coiling, we're gonna take this ball and tear it in half. So think about math-wise. We just went with half, and now we're tearing the half in half, so we've gone down to a fourth of our clay. So we have 1/4 of the clay in our hands, and let's do the rolling technique again. Rolly, 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 rolly. And we're gonna stop, and we should have a perfect little ball. If you don't have a perfect ball yet, that's okay. Remember what I always say, if I'm going too fast, and you're watching this by video, just pause the video. If you're watching it and we're doing it in class live time, I'll pause the video for you at different times. Otherwise, you can always go back and watch a video, okay? Or use the techniques we're learning and come back and work on them later. Don't rush. It's kind of like when we did our watercolor painting. Just stop that area and go to what we're talking about now so you learn that technique. So we've got our little ball here, our fourth of it. We're gonna put that in our hand. Blakely, what do you do? Put your ball down for just a minute. Okay. What do you do when you're outside if your hands get cold? What do you do to warm them up? Oh yeah. So that's what we're gonna do now to do the coiling technique. Now the coiling technique is where it ends up looking like a rope or a snake. So put your hands together and we're gonna warm our hands up. And as we do, you'll see it's turning into a snake. Now for my littles, you could put it on the board and you could roll it on the board like this. And that's okay. And as it gets longer, even my elders might want to put it on the board. That's all right, I'm not judging. Get as long as a coil. This is called a coil. You can call it a snake or a rope or a piece of spaghetti or whatever you want to call it. And now let's talk about a little history. Now clay is made out of dirt and sediments of rock and a little bit of water. And so over time, all that could mix together and make into clay. Native Americans figured that out, and they knew that then when it hardened, when it dried out, it hardened. And so they used it to make vessels or pots and things to cook in and to keep water in. So coiling was one way they did that. We know that scientists have found those artifacts. So let's just make a little circle. And now we're gonna start taking it around on top of itself and coiling it up like a snake. And if you do that, it's hollow on the inside, but you have that coiling on the outside. I'm gonna hold that up for the camera. So hopefully you can see that. And on the inside, it's hollow. And so that'd make a pretty good pot for somebody who didn't have any other kind of a basket, right? Especially if they closed up the bottom of it. But there were some issues because it might leak around the edges. So they started doing it even a different way. So we're gonna go back to, let's pick up our other fourth. Let's leave our little coil sitting there. Let's pick up our other fourth of a ball and let's do a rollie on it. And we're gonna learn something called a pinch pot. Now a pinch pot is a way that we make some pottery a little differently. And it's gonna help us in all of our sculpting because we're gonna make a car here in a few minutes. So stay with me. All right, put the ball down that you've got nice and smooth. You're gonna take your thumb, you're gonna reach over, and you're gonna stick your thumb in the center of that ball and then pull it out. Kind of looks like a donut, doesn't it?
Yep, I wanna eat it.
You wanna eat it? Yeah. All right, so now we're gonna put our thumb in the middle, and we're gonna pinch around the sides. Guess what this technique is called? Pinching. And so we're gonna pinch around the sides, just like this. And as you pinch and you push in, it makes the sides of the pottery come up. And all of a sudden you have what we call a pinch pot. It's like a piece of pottery that's just made out of Play-Doh. Hollow on the inside, vessel, flat on the bottom. Now wouldn't that make a better way to hold water or to carry around? Oh, Blakely, that looks good. All right, so we got a pinch pot and we got a coil pot. So we've learned 3 techniques so far. Rollie, what was another one?
Pinch pot.
Pinch and?
Snake.
Snake,
coil.
Also known as coil, right. All right, so we got those 3 techniques. Those 3 techniques are now gonna let us make pretty much anything we wanna make. Well, besides the one called flatten. You wanna do flatten?
Sure.
Let's take our pot and just flatten it.
That was easy.
Yeah, that's a hard technique. It's called flatten it. You just flatten it. And that's where, when we do things later, our little roller will come in handy too. All right, let's pull this up. Oh, these mats are gonna be good. They're good and slick. Play-Doh's not sticking. Love it. All right, we're gonna go back to half of our dough. If you don't remember what that is, put all your dough in your hand. Mess it up, mess it up. This might be the funnest part. Release all your stress. Tear it in half. Put half the Play-Doh over to the side, keep the other half in your hand, and let's make us a car, okay? Now this car is gonna be a convertible. It's gonna look like the Flintstones, okay? You know what the Flintstones are?
No.
Blakely.
Seriously.
Oh, okay. the Flintstones are a cartoon. So let's roll it. We're gonna roll it, roll it, roll it. Apply a little pressure. Roll it, roll it, roll it. You should have your ball. Put your ball down flat. You're gonna put your thumb in it like we're making a pinch pot. But now we want to shape this in the shape of a jelly bean or a bathtub. I want you to think bathtub, bathtub, bathtub. So I want you to take your hands and just start squeezing this, thinking about the body of a car or a bathtub or a big old jelly bean. You're gonna put your finger in where you put that opening and you're gonna pinch around a little bit so that you have an opening like you would for the inside of a car. And it lets me end up with something like this, okay? It's gonna look like a bathtub, a canoe, you might wanna think of it that way, but the main body type of a car. Now, I'm gonna pinch off just a little circle, and I'm gonna try to pinch off 4 of them, and I'm gonna try to get all 4 circles to look like they're about the same size.
Okay.
I might have to get that out of the way. I've pinched off 4 pieces. They're all basically the same amount of dough. Okay? I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna do the rolly. I'm gonna put that little ball between my thumb and my pointed finger, and I'm just gonna lightly press it down, do that little flattening technique, and I have a tire for my car. I'm gonna go attach my tire to the back of my car. Good job, girl. All right, I'm gonna pick up another ball. Roll it, roll it, roll it. I'm gonna put my thumb and my finger together and just gently press down. Now it kind of looks like, what would you say that looked like?
Tiny pizza.
M&M, tiny pizza. And I'm gonna put that as another wheel on my car. Pick up another one, do the same thing. Rolly, rolly, rolly. Our rolling technique. We're gonna push it down. We've got our 3rd tire. Remember, if I'm going too fast, you can come back and put your tires on later, okay? I just have to worry about how much video is here so that it will download for you good. Don't worry about keeping up with me. If you know how to make just 1 tire, then you can finish your tires later. So we're gonna press, and I've got my little car now with all 4 tires on it. Now here's what I'm gonna do with my pencil. I'm gonna make the center hubcap of my little tires. I hope you can see that. My husband is helping us with filming. Greg, can they see the center of the tire that I made with my pencil? Awesome. Luckily,
Okay.
make the little hubcaps on yours. Now, boys and girls, you can elaborate on this car now as much as you want to go. I'm going to tear off another little piece and show you something. Most cars have a bumper. A bumper is that piece that goes on the front and the back of the car. It connects from tire to tire. And what I would do for that is I would make a little ball, and then I would do the coiling technique to make a little rope so that I have a little snake. This is gonna be the bumper on my car. Look, I'm gonna go from tire to tire. Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go from tire to tire, and I've just put a little bumper on the front of my car.
So just like this.
Yep, and guess what? If it's too long, pinch some off.
Yeah.
If it's too short, roll it a little more, make it a little longer. Yeah, and then that makes your bumper on the front, and guess what? We can need a bumper on the back. So I'm gonna pinch off a little more, and I'm gonna do a little coiling, and I'm gonna make my little bumper on the back end of my car. So I got a bumper on the front, I got a bumper on the back, I've got my wheels, headlights.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot about those.
Gotta have tail lights too, so how many will I need?
4.
4, just like we did the front, but they need to be really tiny. So I need 4 tiny circles. So I'm gonna tear off my dough, Play-Doh, and I'm gonna try to see that I have 4 pieces that are about the same. Now remember, I'm going fast because of video purposes. If you know how to make just one of these, then you can go back later and make the others. Get 4 that are the same. You're gonna do that same technique. Rolly, rolly, rolly. Smash it just a little bit of a pizza. Add it just above your bumper, and all of a sudden you have a headlight. I'm gonna rolly this one. Make me a little pizza. I have another headlight.
Looks like a face.
Yeah, it almost looks like a face on the front of the car. You're right. So we got headlights. Need some tail lights. We don't want anybody to run over us.
Yep.
So rolly. Squish it out. Put the tail lights on the back. I got 2 more things I want to show you and then we'll be done. I know I'm going fast, okay? All right, we're going to tear off a piece of clay. And I want you to roll it in your hand. It looks about the size of a tire, okay? You're going to roll it in your hands. I want you to press down just a little bit on one side and pinch it just a little bit on the other. So you're doing both. You're going to make it look like a cell phone size or like a little jelly bean. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make it bend up like this, and it's going to look like a little car seat would for a baby. Got your little car seat made? Yep. Like a little L shape? Mm-hmm. Now you got a seat for your car. Put it down inside your car. How cool is that?
That's cool.
So your little car seat?
I'm going to give mine a back.
Yeah, now that's where you can expand. You can have a 2-seater where there's just 2 in the front. I got a 1-seater. You can put 4 seats in the car, make the car bigger. When we're done with this video, go for it. You can make it do all kinds of things. We're just gonna add a steering wheel and I'm gonna show you how to draw on your doors, okay? And then we'll be finished. Take off another little piece of dough, break it in half. I want you to do some coiling. Little bit of coiling so that you have just a little bitty stick. You're gonna put that little stick here in the front of your car to be your steering shaft. Just like that.
Can I see yours?
Yep.
Okay.
And then you're just gonna make one more little round ball by rolling and flattening so it looks like your headlight did. But that's gonna be your steering wheel that you're gonna stick on top of that shaft. There is my finished car. Okay, I got a little sports car. I got the little seat in there. I've got the little steering wheel. I can make a little hole in the center for the steering wheel. I've got the tires. I've got the lights. Now here's what you can do. If you want this to be a roadster, think of Mickey's Roadster. You're more Disney than you are anything else these days. You can take your pencil. You can draw in the doors and draw on a door handle. You could draw numbers on there. You could draw your name on there. You can make your car look any way you want it to look. You can design it. So by using our techniques of pinch pot and coiling and rolling, you've been able to make a really cool little car. And then here's the neat thing about it that I need you to remember. Blakely, yours looks great too. She's even using the knife to make the little side doors of her car. There's nothing wrong with that. Here's what you have to do. You gotta promise me that when you're done playing with your Play-Doh today, don't just leave it sitting out. It will get air in it and it will dry, and dry Play-Doh is no good to anybody.
Yep, because then you can't use it anymore.
Can't use it anymore.
Because when I was younger, I left it all out and I came back the next day to play with it.
Not good, is it?
Nope.
No. So when you're done, you know, show it off to somebody. And I tell you what, I would love to have pictures of your cars. Take pictures of them, send them to me by email. I'll share them during our morning meeting in our hive time. Let the other kids see how well that you were able to create your roadster car by learning our techniques today. Come back next week. We're gonna learn how to do something else. And don't forget, put the Play-Doh away. I'm gonna mess my car up now. I hope my husband got a good picture of it. You're gonna mess it up, put it all back in, and it's really key that when you put that lid on, you hear that lid pop so that you know it's good and tight. Now, if you use the Model Magic today, that's fine. You can leave it out. It will get hard, and you can have it to look at probably for about a month, month and a half, and then it's just gonna start falling apart. But this is a one-shot deal. You can't reconform it. So this, a one time and done is all you'd have for these. So if you don't have your Play-Doh yet, be getting your Play-Doh before next Friday, okay? All right, thanks for hanging out with us. Wasn't that fun, Blakely?
Yep.
Thank you for being here with me too. Thank you to my cameraman, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.